Hi Stampers, this is Dawn from DawnStampingThoughts.net, and today we're going to make my February thank you notes. This one uses Soft Sky, Pink Pirouette, Pear Pizzazz, and then Cajun Craze. And the stamp set we're using is the beautiful Sheltering Tree. Love this stamp set, and it's going to be one of your favorites too, I'm sure. So for my thank you notes for February, I thought it would be fun to do a winter, spring, summer, fall card. So we're going to make the summer card today. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're using the Whisper White piece is cut at 2 3/4 by 8 1/2, and then scored at 4 1/4. And the Pear Pizzazz piece is cut at 2 1/2 by 4. And then another piece of Whisper White, which is cut at 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so first we're going to go ahead and stamp with the Whisper White piece. And I'm using two colors of the ink pads. I'm using Early Espresso and the Pear Pizzazz. And we're going to use a bunch of images for this one little tree. It's so cute. This stamp is considered a two-step stamp set. 2 steps meaning it needs 2 stamps to complete the image. Unlike this one card here, where all I did was I just stamped the tree. But if you wanted to add the second step, which would be considered the 2-step stamping, you would add the foliage or the leaves, which would be the part 2 of the 2-step stamping. And just like the bike, you have 2 steps to that also. Alright, so let's go ahead and stamp our tree first. We're going to use the Early Espresso. Okay, now I'm going to just stamp, I'm not going to stamp this tree on the whole part of the Whisper White piece. I'm just going to stamp off a little bit to the side. And then I'm going to add the little grass piece, which is the little swirly thing here. So I'm going to use the Pear Pizzazz for that. Stamp that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add the foliage to the 2-step part of the tree. So I'm going to ink this up with the Pear Pizzazz. Then I'm going to take a marker, and this is the Always Artichoke, and I'm going to use the wide tip end, and I'm going to do a technique called pouncing. So first we're going to go ahead and ink this stamp up with the Pear Pizzazz. Okay, so I'm going to add the lighter color first. And I'm only going to pounce on about 3/4 of the tree because that's all it's going to be stamped. So I'm just pouncing that marker right on top of that image. Just all over. And since this is the part of the tree that we're going to be stamping on this tree over here, I only need to do this section. Okay, so then you can moisten it by breathing on it. And then you're just going to line this up and stamp. In the photopolymer, you can see right where you're stamping. I hope that shows up in the video. Okay, so it looks like that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and stamp our bike, and I'm going to use the Memento ink. So I'm going to take the bike. This is the 2-step stamp also. It's in the set. So I'm going to stamp the bike right along the tree base, right about there. And then you're going to take the second part, and you can kind of see when you're doing the 2-step stamping, you can kind of see right where you need to place it. I'm hoping it's right about there, so we're going to find out. I don't want to put my head in the camera. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, so then that is the bike. And then we're going to stamp the greeting, You Warm My Heart. I'm going to stamp this along the right-hand side of the card. So cute. Okay, so then we're just going to layer our pieces together. And pick it up. I'm going to layer this over top of the base, the Whisper White. Okay, so let me show you them again. Now I thought it would be really fun to make a frame. You could just cut these apart, cut that off, and then you could just have the front and you could put them in a frame. You know, so you'd have the winter, spring, summer, and then fall. Now let me tell you the colors that I used for each of them. This one uses the Soft Sky and the Early Espresso. And then the Pink Pirouette one I used for the foliage, I used the Pink Pirouette ink. And then for the marker, I used the Rose Red. And then we just made the summer one. So then the fall, I used the Crushed Curry ink, and then I used the Cajun Craze marker and also the Cherry Cobbler marker with the rake. And then the cardstock is the Cajun Craze. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you later. Bye.